My question is for Gary Lunn. In your opening remarks, you said that leadership is the main issue of this campaign. Recently, Canadians and the world learned that your leader, Stephen Harper, not only didn't take part in writing a speech to make the case to go to war in Iraq, but he plagiarized the whole thing. My question is, how does this demonstrate strong leadership?
I love these questions. Listen, I mean, I think it's well known about this issue, and you have a number of speechwriters. I have them. Sometimes you're handed a speech when you walk at the podium. You try to get them, you try to review them, and ultimately responsibility. And it's not okay. Plagiarism's not okay.
The world judged the Iraqi regime was a dangerous aggressor. In the interests of world peace and regional security, the community of nations required Iraq to surrender its offensive arsenal, its chemical and biological weapons, and abandon its nuclear weapons program. Iraq agreed to comply.
The world judged the Iraqi regime to be a dangerous aggressor. In the interests of world peace and regional security, the community of nations expelled Iraq from Kuwait, required Iraq to surrender its offensive arsenal, its chemical biological weapons, and to abandon its nuclear weapons program. Iraq agreed to comply. Iraq's continued defiance of the community of nations presents a challenge which must be addressed.
Presents a challenge which must be addressed. It is inherently dangerous
to allow a country such as
Iraq to retain weapons of mass destruction, particularly in the light of its past aggressive behaviour.
If the world community fails to disarm Iraq, we fear that other rogue states will be encouraged to believe that they too can have these weapons, these most deadly of weapons, to systematically defy international resolutions, and that the world will do nothing to stop them. That is the ultimate nightmare, Mr. Speaker, which the world must take decisive and effective steps to prevent. Possession of chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons by terrorists would constitute a direct, undeniable, and lethal threat to the world, including to Canada
Australia
and its
people.
The world has tried other means for years,
but so far to no avail. We cannot walk away from the threat that Iraq's continued
possession of weapons of mass destruction
constitutes to its region and to the wider world. In the final analysis, Mr. Speaker, the absolute conviction of the government is that disarming Iraq is necessary for the long-term security of the world and is therefore manifestly in the national interest of Australia.
In the final analysis, disarming Iraq is necessary for the long-term security of the world, to the collective interests of our historic allies, and therefore manifestly, Mr. Speaker, it is in the national interest of this country.
Part of the reason we went into Iraq the main reason we went into Iraq at the time was we thought he had weapons of mass destruction. It turns out he didn't, but he had the capacity to make weapons of mass destruction.
Plagiarism's not okay.